Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to a video that is hopefully going to be short and sweet in comparison to what I've been uploading lately. I don't know what's been happening, they've all just been turning out really long and I personally love long videos, but I know some people don't. So today we are going to be testing out a concept which I have been curious about for many years. It is to do with winged liner, and winged liner is something that I think I'm pretty good at. I've kind of mastered it over the years, but I still have my days where I struggle, and I know so many people do. So I've always wanted to test out an eyeliner stamp, so that's what we are doing today. This one is from Australis. Now I know the first thing that might cross your mind is that brands like the Quick Flick did it first, but to be honest I think there was brands that did it years even before them, and brands copy each other's products all the time, so I'm not sure if there's really anything that they can do about it. So we are just going to jump straight in because my eyes are looking very strange and I need to get some product on them. First things first, let's take a look at the product. So this is the packaging, typical pink and black Australis packaging really. It is called Stamp It and it is just a double-ended eyeliner. So it has the stamp on one end and then a felt tip on the other. By the looks of it, the felt tip looks quite thick, so I'm not sure if I'm going to enjoy that. But either way, if the stamp works, then I will be very happy. So I don't think these come in shades. This is just a black one. It was $16.95 and it's a really new product. I actually bought it off the Australis website because it's not on Priceline yet. I don't even think it's in stores, and they had free shipping as a promotion for it because it was new. So let's just open this and have a look. Okay, so this is the packaging. It is just a nice gold tube. This end is the stamp. I am dying to just test that on my hand, but we will in a second. And then this end is the felt tip. So as you can see, it's quite chunky, but considering you just have to use it for your lash line, I think it should be okay. But I also really like a fine tip on my liner. So it'll be interesting to see if the stamp can give me that. And if not, then I would probably just follow up with a felt tip liner, a really fine one, my one from Maybelline, to really get that flick. So before I zoom you guys in and we test it out on the eye, I'm just going to quickly test the stamp on my hand just so I can get an idea of how much ink it holds, if it's really wet or dry, and how much pressure I need to put on to get the perfect wing. So let's do that. I'm just going to do this quite softly first. Okay, so that was really gentle and it's actually perfect. I was worried that if you didn't put enough pressure on, it would come out a bit patchy, but then if you put too much pressure on, it would kind of bleed outside the stamp line. So I am pretty happy with that, to be honest. And even if it was a bit patchy, you could easily go and fill in those gaps. As for the point, it's definitely not looking as sharp as I would usually like my liner, but that's okay. Just gonna test it a couple more times. So you definitely want to be really gentle. I was really soft with all of those, but some of them are quite wet, and then some of them also weren't fully opaque. But that end bit towards the inner eye is really okay. That doesn't bother me because that's a bit that I would just fill in as long as the point is coming out pretty well. Alright, so I'll just zoom you guys in. Alrighty, let's give this a crack. Oh, it's so hard to see past it. It's kind of in the way, but it needs to be there. Okay, so as you can see, I didn't obviously get it flush on my eye, so it's missed a bit on the top, but I actually think that's okay because it's made the point come out even pointier than it should have. So honestly, this is a very good start for me. So I'm going to move on to the felt tip and see if we can finish this up nicely. So this is one wing roughly done. I don't know if you guys could tell, but it was a little difficult to use this guy because it is so thick. It was hard to keep that line thin, and because you want to taper it on the inside of the eye, that made it a little bit difficult because it just kept going thick. But I still think it came out alright, although the thickness of the lash line doesn't really match up with the size of the wing in my opinion, so I would definitely want to go in and make my wing bigger. and that's kind of where you run into the issue of stuffing up your wing. So I do like the concept of it, but I think you definitely have to get used to it. So hopefully when I test it out on the other eye, it turns out even better. Ooh. Yep, that one came out so much better. I have to say I did start with my dodgy eye that I do struggle with, so I'm not surprised that this is already going so much better. I managed to get the stamp completely on my eye, so we've got a whole wing here and I've got the perfect angle. This one was probably a little bit low for my liking, so I'm really happy with this so far. So that is the second wing done, and I definitely much prefer how this one came out. I wouldn't really change anything about this. I definitely got the hang a little bit better as well of using it on the inner part of the eye. I think the lash line came out really well. I think the wing came out perfect. The only thing I would change, which I did already mention anyway, is that I really like the flick, the fine point on my wing. So I would literally just go in with my Hyper Sharp and use the lightest touch and flick it out from the end, just so I would get that point. Another thing I want to point out is that the stamp didn't bleed at all. I didn't apply a lot of pressure, so that probably helped, but I'm very impressed because that was definitely a possibility and it didn't at all. So I'm just going to chuck on some mascara and then I'll be back to give my final thoughts. Alrighty, so before we wrap up the video, I thought I would just show you guys how I would use my Hyper Sharp to perfect my wing, just in case you guys really want that sharp wing as well, but are too scared to touch it, because it can all go wrong very quickly and it quite possibly could happen right now. But let's hope it doesn't. So the first key thing is that you do need the mirror very close to you. So I hope you guys will be able to see, but the mirror, which is, yes, covered in little stickers, these are from my niece, it is going to be very, very close to my face, so hopefully you can still see what I'm doing. But pretty much all I would do for this one in particular, because this wing I'm pretty happy with, is firstly you make sure the ink is right on the tip by just like doing it on your hand a couple of times, and then put it right in the flick and just flick it out. So that came out a bit big. Whoops, I wasn't ready for it. I kind of just pretend to flick until I make contact with the skin, but I wasn't ready for it that time because I was talking, so I'm just going to fix that up. It's all going wrong. I don't know why I tried to do this. This is stupid. So as you can see, that is a perfect example of how it can go wrong in a second. So I shouldn't have attempted to do that on camera because, for one, I haven't done wings in probably months, and because the pressure's on of filming and it's also really, really hot. It just didn't go to plan, so I had to thicken it up a bit, so therefore it's pretty much not the stamp anymore. But the stamp is still a good guideline, and if you don't mind your wings not being so sharp, then it's perfect to use just as your wing. I will probably do that in the future instead of trying to touch it and mess with it. I'm going to have a go at this one and see if we can do the same but not mess it up. Okay, so that one just needed the tiniest bit of love. It now has the perfect point for me, and I actually really like the shape and thickness of it. But in comparison to this one, they do not match. So these wings will definitely not be leaving the house, but that's fine. So overall, I actually think this product is really great. Whether you are a beginner or someone who does a winged liner every day, I think this can definitely just help you out or even just save some time. As long as you don't go and try and touch it up after, then it should be foolproof. I will definitely be using this in the future. There are often times where I'm under pressure, but I want to do a wing, and this is the kind of thing that would save me because, as you can see, under pressure with this guy, and it could all go wrong very quickly. I still do love this wing. This is the kind of wing I usually wear, but this is the wing that I want to wear. I can just never achieve it because my wings always end up huge. So thanks to this guy, I will now be able to have small wings sometimes. Let me know what you guys think of this product. I would love to hear your opinion and whether you think you would use it or not. And also, if you have any other questions about it that I haven't touched on, then definitely leave them in the comments. So make sure you give this video a massive thumbs up if you enjoyed it, subscribe down below if you are new, And of course, don't forget to click the little notification bell so you don't miss another video. And I hope you're all having an absolutely amazing day, and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys!